To sum it all up in one, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first and foremost, my name is Jarrett Bush. Born and raised in California, in the town called Vacaville. The youngest of two siblings. So I definitely feel like I was the most driven athlete or the most driven child. I feel like I wasn't always the most responsible either, but I think I definitely took a lot of pride in just being the most competitive, just always being the youngest player, being the youngest sibling, and always having to prove yourself. Therefore, I think it played a lot of roles in developing as a young child into my youth, and it definitely carried off, especially with having a strong father role in my family. Just as a young boy, it definitely played a huge role in my development into my youth and being a young man. Okay, so just to sum it all up in one, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Because I can honestly tell you that if you looked at me in freshman year in high school, I promise you'd be like, this guy is not going to the NFL.
Yeah.
Honestly, like stick and bones, 130 pounds, like he's scared to hit. He doesn't want to tackle anybody. He's scared of the ball. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be just another guy, this and that. So I think just over the years you start to develop a lot of confidence. And again, I'm thankful for my dad and taking me under his wing and showing me just what manhood is all about. And knowing how to conquer some of your fears. And when you get out there, just kind of just coming, he calls it developing your oats or coming into your oats. And he definitely showed me how to just man up on the football field and just understand, like, hey, these are your goals. This is how you're supposed to attack things. Not to be afraid, but just kind of have that chip on your shoulder. After he felt like, I guess he was out there watching me, and he just kind of took me aside and he was like, hey, because he knew I was a nice kid, right?
Right.
He was like, hey, man, he was like, it's okay to be nice, and but when you're out there, man, he hit me on the chest. He's like, I don't give him no mercy out there, man. Give him no mercy. But after, you can be friends. You can be nice.
Yeah.
All right. And so from that moment on, I was like, okay, So when a light bulb just turned on, like a sense of aggressiveness, a sense of a harnessed aggression came upon me. Like I allow me to unleash a little bit, and obviously it didn't happen right day one. Obviously, but over time, it allowed me, like, okay, like I can go out here, I can hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna get hurt. Like I'm just trying to be a nice guy. Because the first thing he told me was be nice. So but to summarize, I think that from that day one, I think allowed me to be a little bit more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So just being a shy kid. You know what I'm saying? And football was definitely not my cup of tea. I wanted to run track. I wanted to run soccer, play soccer. That's what my siblings do. Where it was the off season, it's track season. I would go down, run track, do my track practice. I would schedule a quarterback and like, hey, let's go throw after the track practice. So we run like 8 300s. I'm dog tired, but I just keep running and go up the hill and I strap on my cleats, we run routes. And so I think that's when I understood, that's when like the drive hit. And I think for every boy, I think it's at a certain age where that drive kicks in. And for me, it did. And I think that allowed, again, like we talked about before, that allowed me to separate. Because I feel like everybody was like neck and neck. Like if you told me like to race 3 boys on like a high school team, they would come like right neck and neck with each other. But the difference was like who's gonna edge out, and what did they do to edge out, right? Did they stay up? Did they do like a little more plyo? Did they jump rope? Did they lift some more weights to strengthen themselves? Like, what did they do to edge themselves, to separate themselves? And I think that was like the biggest thing that I learned throughout my career at a young age. And as well, I definitely had some really good examples. Each phase I had, junior college to the pros, I had a really good mentor, hands down. He was a male figure. He was very structured. He was very disciplined. He was very strict. Kept you on the straight and narrow. I think that was one of the biggest influence, and I still talk to him today. Like, he'll call me, and I'll give back to a lot of his athletes. And I remember one thing that stuck with me. He was like, "Look, the JB, you want to go to 4-year college, right? Like military, straight Army dude, right? Well, if you want to go and play there, you got to dominate this league. You got to dominate." And so I responded to that because my dad's military too. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of certain points where he spoke to me like that, and I knew how to respond just because that's what I used to. I felt comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. So when he told me that, I was like, okay, that's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. So I built myself into shape. I also ran track there. Dominated the league. Had won some of my best games against some of the top teams. We got demolished as a team, but I played well. Mm-hmm. So scouts, they noticed. I think other teams noticed. Got my shot. Got a scholarship to Utah State. So those two guys, they met. They seemed similar, like two dudes. They had similar views, like very strict, very disciplined. And so he was actually harder on me than the first mentor. Mm-hmm. Again, kept me on straight and narrow, understood like what it took because he played a little bit. So he knew the goals of future aspirations as well. And I think when you go to the college level, that's when the iron sharpens iron, because you get some of the best, and that allowed me to propel myself into the NFL, or at least be prepped and groomed and ready for an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Going from there to the NFL, what was that like?
Initially going to the NFL, it was definitely all like. It was definitely like a shit, this is it, like. But then realizing having that grounded reality, like, dude, you can play in this. Like this, there's nothing that you haven't seen in the college level. It's just like you're with other professionals just as good as you. You probably play, you're a little anxious because you want to do well, like you're playing at a fast level. So I just need to just kind of just relax a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just because I was really pumped up, I was really amped. Just because this is what you talk about. This is what you talk about with your friends. This is what you talk about when you dream, when you throwing the football up in the air. Like, and so, right, you really want to do well. So just bringing myself down energetically, and just still like having the composure and poise to go out there and just play. And once I did that, I think everything kind of came and fell into place. Once that showed that work ethic, I think it definitely played a role in just the coaches as well as like the general manager, and also played a role on the football field. And allowed me an opportunity to further my career there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You played for 9 years. You weren't a drafted guy. Mm. There had to be things you had to do that other guys who came in on the drafted boat, they didn't have to do. And then maybe there were some things that they could get away with that you couldn't get away with.
I feel like it all comes back down to the character of the human being. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of draftees, they have a little ego, a little bit bigger ego, I guess you could say, in the sense of like, I'm a superstar, I don't have to do any grunt work. Well, this is a football team. All of it's pretty much grunt work, like whether if you're running through a freaking wedge, or you're running on kickoff, or you're doing a field goal block, like, it's football. And so I think another aspect was talking back to the coaches. I think some draftees got away with that. But I think it still falls back to the character, right? I think that the drafted player gets a sense of entitlement versus an undrafted player. I think just in the sense of keeping your head on straight, knowing that what you do and what you bring to the team it brings value, and just keeping your nose to the grindstone and understand, like, just go out there, make plays, do what you do. Make sure give yourself value, give it a chance to make the team. You know what I'm saying? Doing special teams. You know what I'm saying? Whatever needs to be done. Like how can I help the team? Mentality. I think is the right mentality to have as undrafted. I think it's your job to convince him that he's the man for the job.
Yeah.
So that means you gotta make all the right decisions. You know, understand that you're a good dude. Get well with your team. Go out there and play.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take it for granted, right? And I think everything else, will play out. Yeah.
But what would you say to the people that believe I can achieve my goals without having to sacrifice anything? Because I saw so-and-so do it. So-and-so was able to make it and not have to do the extra stuff and not have to sacrifice anything, and he did it, so I can do it too. What would you say to somebody who may be thinking like that?
I would say don't look at how he did it, just believe that you can do it. Believe that he did it, just don't believe how he did it. Because I feel like how he did it isn't gonna work for you.
Mm-hmm.
How he did it is probably not gonna work for you, or me, or Joel, or for you. It's just not.
Right.
He had a different plan, he had a different set of tools, he had a different set of gifts than you, myself, and Joel.
Right. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that a lot of people miss today. And they wonder, man, why am I not getting the big D1 offer? I did the same thing this guy did. But you don't realize, well, maybe your genetics aren't the same as this guy. You know, so he can get away with that, and you can't.
Right.
But if you do want to better your chances, you're gonna have to do the same amount, if not more work, and then cut off distractions. So the other question I'll get to is, how did you feel that you had? We talked about the boat analogy, right? How in the video it actually talked about taking out things out of the boat that were distractions. Can you elaborate on that a little bit, and what do you think of that?
I think each person's capacity is going to be different workload, right? So I think just understanding that, you definitely, if there are some things that you need to toss out the boat to keep you, if the boat is yay high and the water is yay high, right, you can't put anything else in the boat or the water's going to start dumping into the boat. So you got to start like, shoot, okay, what can I do, babe? Going out, I don't need that, right? The water drops a little bit, the boat goes up a little bit, okay, it's not going out, okay, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying, maybe it's a couple friends, like, I really need these friends. Okay, boat goes out, fun, maybe alcohol, right? I think that gets a lot of people away, right? So I think that the boat really goes up after that, because, right? It's financially, right? Health-wise, right? Especially in that time.
What do you feel like there were sacrifices that you had to make personally? Because it's all based, like you said, it's based on the individual, what they can handle, what they need. Everyone has their own sets of strengths and weaknesses. What were some things that you personally said, hey, so-and-so may be able to get away with doing this and this? And when I say get away, I don't mean like get away with, but like they're able to do this and this in their boat, and they're fine. But maybe I need to take out this in my boat. What were some things for you you felt like you had to throw off of yours to get to your goal?
I remember it all started just time investment. I remember it started in high school. I remember I missed a lot of family gatherings. I missed a lot of birthdays. I missed a lot of school functions. Right, because I was going off to a wrestling meet, because I was going off to a track meet. Right, those were all on weekends. Right, we didn't have them on the weekend. Right. So I sacrificed a lot of those gatherings, and as well as when I really hit college level, right, I just had to commit. I had to commit to my craft. I had to commit to football, commit to track on the weekends and on Sunday, or I was running my pro day. We would break into our athletic center, and we run 40s, right? Because I was committed on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Or on Saturday evening, when Saturday, college, everybody's like, hey, where's the party at? Yeah. I was like, nah, we go get this party, we go get this back pedal in, you know what I'm saying? Make sure my legs are strong. because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna remember that party. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't remember none of the parties. Very, very vaguely, I remember any college parties.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, do I want to hold that for the rest of my life because I want to go to this party, or do I actually want to see it come to fruition? And so that's what kept my vision. That's what kept me going. So I knew that party wasn't the end all.
Fruitful.
Right.
It
didn't give me any joy.
Long lasting.
Yeah. So, and right, everybody talked about it, but they didn't want to be about it at the end of the day. And I think that's one of the biggest things I always talk about my friends. Like, they would always talk about, oh yeah, I'm going to the to the Olympics. I'm gonna do the long jump. Well, you don't look like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be harsh, kind of hard. I'd be like, man, baby, you look like a Olympic long jumper, dude. Like, what are you doing? What do you really want to do? And I feel like that's how my dad hit me with it too. Like, if you're gonna be an NFL player, you better look the part. But nobody's gonna believe you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think definitely there were a lot of sacrifices. As well as school. I feel like I had to like sacrifice some of my workouts to focus on school. Because I wasn't the best in school. I'd pull like a 2.9. I wasn't like a 3.8. Everybody talks about, oh yeah, I'm an honor student, 4.1. Yeah. No, I wasn't that. I was not. No, I was like, get the C+.
Get the degree.
I'm good. Get B-. I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. And but there was a time where I had friends who they went study to get A-. Well, I can't do that. I gotta hit these books. Hit these books. B-. He might have got A-. I got the B- because I took like 6 hours, 7 hours to study. But hey, I had to do what I had to do. Right. You know, so I think that was a sacrifice as well. I had to realize that he can do that. He can not study and still get A-. I couldn't do that. Jarrett Bush couldn't do that. And so I think once I found that out, and they used to make fun of me too. That was another thing. They used to make fun of me too because I told them, I was like, screw you guys, man. Like, I studied like 8 hours just studying history, and I got a lesser grade. And he studied 0 and got an A 97 on his test. So I was like, ain't that something? Right. In my mind, I was like, how does that add up? Like, what am I doing wrong? But I was like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. You know, so.
Just kind of focusing on your race.
Focus on your race.
Yeah.
You know, like, a lot of times you lose hope, you know, but as long as you know that you're capable of doing something, and having some help along the way, I think you definitely need a lot of support, but I definitely just at the end of the day, not losing that, keeping that belief in yourself. Which is tough because you got a lot of obstacles, man. They don't talk about it in life, right? But you gotta be kind of headstrong. Right. You have to be headstrong, almost stubborn.
What would you say from the video? What would you say is something that you felt related to you?
From the first guy to the second guy?
Yeah.
I feel like I tried to do that first guy. Like, I tried to be that first guy. Like, I can balance it out. I can eat Pop-Tarts and drink soda, and I can hang out and and not and not eat like real food. And, you know what I'm saying? I can do it because I'm a baller. Well, it came like time to like do what you had to do, and when you had basically zero fuel, you had to like eat some real food at the end of the day. And so when I found out that I had zero fuel at the times at clutch time, I didn't have it. So I was like, damn, I'm missing something. Like, okay, maybe I do. My dad was like, he said, I told you you need to eat some real food, you need to eat some steaks. Here's some green beans, here's some steak, here's some mashed potatoes.
Right.
I'm thinking that I could do it like him. Dude, he was a baller. He'd drink soda, he'd drink Pop-Tarts, eat hot dogs. He's like, you're not him. My dad was like, you're not him. You gotta eat some real stuff. So I felt like I could be that first guy. But then, like, I felt like after my sophomore year, that's why I knew I had to be like the second guy. Sophomore year was when it hit. Started right after track practice, I would come up and run routes. Dad sent me to a few football camps. Sent me to a USC camp, sent me to a San Francisco football camp. Came home with MVP trophies. And from there, I just saw the hard work pay off. And saw that, okay, I got something. And as well, I think you gotta find your strengths too. I think if you're not playing to your strengths, why would you not utilize that strength? I feel like that strength also as well brings you joy. you know.
Yeah.
So you gotta find your strengths. And I feel like, shoot, I can run, I can catch. This is my vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a 3.5 student. So I knew football, sports was gonna be my ticket. Mm-hmm. I'm not my brother. I knew that.
Right.
I am not a cardiologist. I wasn't a medical school brain. I'm not. Mm-hmm. But I can run and catch that football. I can run and keep the ball into the goal. I can jump over the hurdles. So I let that flourish, and I nourished it. Right? You take care of it. You work on it. So I think those are the times where I sacrificed, like running hills. You push through. It hurt. There's times where, like, right, you don't feel like doing it, or it's like, I'm by myself, gotta do it. You know, I wasn't perfect in doing all the right decisions, but I made enough right decisions to put myself in a better situation to hit my goals of Division I scholarship and to pursue my goals in an NFL career. And just allowing again those sacrifices to allow me to bolster myself into something greater. I think one day I definitely want to go into the coaching aspect when my girls get a little bit older, and to allow myself to kind of to honor the gift that God gave me. I really feel like I definitely have a niche in that area. But my girls come first. Just make sure that they're solidified and make sure that they're well and independent and sustainable, right? Sustainable independence. So I think that's definitely my future goal. I definitely feel like just harnessing that energy and harnessing those gifts. I think that's definitely what gives me the purpose in life. You know, so those goals, and maybe bring home another Super Bowl. You know, I got 2 little girls, so I got 1 pendant. And so I need a second Super Bowl to get the second pendant. So yeah, that's kind of like one of the goals I keep in the back of my head. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jarrett Bush, number 24, defensive back, former Packer, Super Bowl champion, 45, and captain, and I'm the second guy.